it's winter. The the wind is lashing. Get up here properly. The wind is lashing around here, and let me try and sort this fire out. Hold on. By the way, you anal retentive obsessives there who are obsessed with like the muck in the back of my car, that's actually pieces of wood chipping from chopping wood. And that's what that is. So it comes from hard work. You know, those of you who said like clean up your fucking car. You know those types. Yeah, no, comes from manly work. You know, the fucking hands of a man, not like your flappy soy hand wrists. You know, so that's the product of manliness. You know, your why don't you clean your car? That's the that's a product of your soyness. Okay, flappy soyness. Now, being manly and chopping wood, okay, and getting fuel for the fucking apocalypse, and making weapons to beat your fucking enemies with, grr stuff, Anyway, I digress. You put me off. Oh yeah, yeah. No, not really. I didn't really digress that much. No. Chips of wood. Ooh. Ooh, Sheridan is suspicious. Chips of wood. Ooh, what's that mean? Ooh, let's find something. Ooh, my penis gets smaller and smaller as I look for things to get Sheridan with. Oh, my penis is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Ooh, it's so small now that a rainbow flag has appeared on my Twitter profile. So, now you got me fucking annoyed about it, huh? Because the white fucking car thing is annoying me more. When you cunt. That's better. No, it's not. You see if what you fucking fuckers have done? Dickheads. The only reason I sit here in the passenger seat doing this is because this is the only clip I have for a camera. That's a bit close up, isn't it? Like fucking Big Brother here. Anyway. Yeah. I've got a bit of time here, so we'll have a little bit of a chat. If you can't stand looking at my ugly face, just look down and just scroll down to the comments. Okay. Now, just about everyone I know who calls themselves organic run organic businesses, are organic this, that, and the other. All this. Every last one of them have taken Needlecraft. Okay, so you're running an organic business that promotes organic cooking, organic food, organic vegetables, organic healing, and you yourself are not even human anymore because you have taken Needlecraft and you have this RNA augmentation system inside you that's actually you're not even fully human anymore. How can you actually continue to market yourself as being organic? How can you do that? How can you continue to market your lifestyle as being organic? Why do you have this desire to have organic vegetables, organic healing, organic food, organic cosmetics, if you're not even organic yourself anymore? You're now a branch Covidian. You're taking the transubstantiation of the Needlecraft. And therefore, how can you supply your organic services to people when you yourself are not even organic? It's like a bit weird, isn't it? It reminds me of these, in Ireland in the old days, a lot of these publicans who ran these pubs were in these country towns and villages were teetotalers. They had taken the pledge not to drink. And a lot of them were like holy rollers as well. They would go to mass every day. But they'd be the first one to open the pub on the day that the welfare comes in and take the money off everyone else to, line their pockets on other people's alcoholism, while they boast about, never having touched a drop in 25 years and this kind of thing. There were these organic industry people who have needlecraft, who succumb to the needlecraft. How can they actually ethically and honestly do this anymore when they're not themselves are not organic? You see, in your fears, in your panic, in your desire to have a 2 weeks in Benidorm, so many of you did not consider the full implications of what you were doing. And it's a pity we didn't think of the organic thing earlier on, because we could have used this as a way to sort of make people think. Now, again, if you took the needlecraft, that's none of my fucking business, okay? That's none of my business, okay? But what is my business is that if you took the needlecraft and then you're trying to sell me organic this, that, and the other service, well, then it's my business to know that you're a hypocrite and a fake, and I'm not taking your wares. So we therefore need to, those of you who are involved in the organics world and who have not taken needlecraft, have to actually start making a point of this now. Yes, I have an organic farm. I sell organic eggs. I sell organic chickens. I sell organic mushrooms. I sell organic broccoli. I don't have the needlecraft, so you're getting it from a true organic source. Hi, I'm a healer. I do energy healing. I do this thing. I take care of your body through my energy healing and stuff. And I'm a completely organic because I did not take the needlecraft. And the same through all the other services that call themselves organic. So if you see, you didn't think about this, did you? You didn't. You're too busy. That miasmic vision of ping pongs falling on the ground in Wuhan. It was too much for you. There you went straight from 0 to 1,000 and didn't put and skipped all the numbers in between. Couldn't put the fucking brakes on, could you? Now again, if you are needlecraft and that's your own business. Like I said, I'm not judging anyone who's taken it in a negative sense. I'm Mr. Freedom. It's the same way I don't care if someone has a drug problem. I mean, I hope they get off it and get better, but otherwise, it's not my business. It's the same. I don't care about a person's sexuality. I don't give a fuck about other people's private lives. I don't give a fuck about anything like that. But at the same time, too, if you're presenting a certain public image, like you're someone who's preaching about family values and the sanctity of the family, and then you're fucking all these like people on the weekend, that you're obviously you're a hypocrite, because you're actually pushing the thing of family values and sanctity. If you're that kind, if you're homophobic, like these homophobic ministers, and then they have like they find them, they catch them at rent boys in bus stations and stuff like that. That's the problem. It only becomes a problem when you're trying to impose your lifestyle on me and you're a hypocrite. So like I have no problem with anyone's taking that needle. Not at all. We won't be less friends, or I won't do to you. Now, what some of your people are doing to us, I won't do that. We'll not be less friends or anything like that. You don't have to worry about that. However, we have this kind of informal coffee morning thing that's happened in Sligo, and it's just started with me and a couple of other people. Now it's grown to the point now where we're probably going to need a new venue. And it's not protesting, so I don't think we're going to be standing with fucking banners, waving banners. It's just love and support and kindness and conversation. That's all it is. And it's starting to grow now. Even though the weather was atrocious this weekend, and so many people still showed up. And you should be looking to do this where you live as well. And these are people who have like refused the needlecraft, and who just can't believe what's happened to the world and need to express it. Now, I have a friend there. She's a friend of mine for a good while now, and business partner. And her mother and father said she can't come over the house anymore. And the parents only live down the road. They issued her an ultimatum that you can't come anymore because she's not needlecraft. Now, that's just heartbreaking to hear. And a lot of that crap is going on. So if they're doing that to us, it's now time for us to turn the tables. Hi, I'm Jeff Soy. Jeff Soy Organic Farms. Yeah, we have organic chickens, organic eggs. We have organic mushrooms. Yeah, Jeff, did you take the Needlecraft? I sure did. Get the fuck out of my sight. You're not in a position to go out organic anything. You see how it feels now, motherfuckers. You see, if you see, we didn't start this. We didn't start this apartheid. We did not start this apartheid against anyone. You started it against us. And some of the comments I'm reading online are absolutely disgusting. There's so many of you want us round up and put in concentration camps, or forced, or completely removed from society, so the rest of you can get on. Well, motherfuckers, we can play that game too as well. And isn't that bad news now for all you organic types who took the Needlecraft? We can play that back. We can play that back. Same thing with the religious types, I have faith in God. God will protect me. Did you take the Needlecraft? I did. Okay, you're a phony. You don't actually believe in your God. We will not be attending your church anymore, your services. You have been removed. Because you don't actually have faith in your God to protect you. So why should we have faith in you? And this kind of thing. There's lots of little things you can do like that. Now, there seems to be a general consensus that we will have well, I can tell you for a fact, there's no fucking doubt about it that the neurology of these people is crashing. I was talking to a chap there yesterday who lives in the town not far from where I live, and I was saying to him, and he was telling me that he knows people who actually worked on these vaccines and on these needlecrafts and know how risky they are and still took them. Even though they knew about all the problems that could cause, and there wasn't a full testing of the needlecraft, they still took them. Why? 2 weeks in Benidorm. Go on holiday. I'm bottled for that. And that they didn't bottle because they wanted to be safe for their kids. They didn't bottle because they needed it for their jobs. They bottled it for Ryanair. They bottled it for 2 weeks in Spain or Portugal. That's what they bottled it for. That's like what they really, that's what they bottled it for. And and I said to him, have you noticed the changes in personalities? And he goes, yeah, the dead eyes. I've noticed that too. Have you noticed that? The dead eyes after they've been Needlecraft. Something's gone. It's like, I'm really starting to believe that Rudolf Steiner thing, that in the future they would develop a vaccine that would kill people's souls. Because I'm kind of seeing it. And then we've had, like, the roads are just impossible. The amount of them pulling into the side of the road while going, how they get here? Loads of that going on. See what's happening now. I suspect that look. This is completely out of my hole, right? I'm pulling this out of my arsehole, right? This is just pure speculation, but I suspect that many of them, not all, of course, but many of them are having not only personality breakdown, but neurological breakdown as well. I think there's something happening to their neuroplasticity. There's something happening to the partitions of their brain. There's the plasticity may be solidifying because they're unable to create new synapses and new neural partitions, and this is why they're forgetting things and have the dead eyes and signaling to go left and right in the middle of the road, and they're just stopping, pulling into cul-de-sacs and going, where is this? How did I get here? What am I doing here? There's a lot of that going on, and I think we're actually seeing the neurological deterioration happen. And everyone said the same thing. After the first Needlecraft, they were okay, they were fine. It was the second Needlecraft. It was like the first one is almost like getting ready for it's almost like they're testing you. Like they said, I felt a bit tired, a bit uneasy after the first one. I think many people who are watching this now, hitting the thumbs down, are going, how dare he say that? I took the Needlecraft and I feel fine. I think most of you don't feel fine. I think most of you don't feel yourselves ever since you did it. I think you're lying if you say you do. I think that this visceral reaction, there's a wagtail landed on the bonnet. I think this visceral reaction, don't they say a bird is a messenger from the gods? this visceral reaction. It's funny, you never get this close to a wagtail. He can't see me. He's kind of this visceral reaction is because they know, some of them know deep down inside they shouldn't have done it. That they panicked and they did it. And I think it's almost like a guilt, but they're kind of ashamed of what they did to themselves. I think there's a lot of that going on, and I think a lot of them are saying, "I feel fine," and not telling the truth. I think they're not feeling themselves inside. Maybe some are, maybe most are, but some are not. I know some of them are saying, "Oh, I feel fine." And I mean, I just look at the ones in work. They're not the same as they were a few months ago, before they took it. They haven't become horrible or monsters or anything like that. They just don't have the conversation abilities anymore. They're just kind of like walking around on a dais. And again, I'm not judging them. That's their own business. What you do, I'm total Mr. Freedom, and that's why I'm shocked by so many people who claim to be pro-choice, pro-freedom, and they're actually attacking those of us who don't want needlecraft. It's disgusting. Like, there's no civil rights for us. I mean, right now, here's something for you. If you're a pedophile, if you're a convicted pedophile in Ireland right now, if you're a convicted child molester in Ireland right now, and you say you served your obligatory 6 months in prison for raping kids, or wherever the judge who's also a pedo gave you, right? Pedophile, a rapist, a murderer in Ireland has more freedom now than someone who isn't vaccinated. Just think about that. If you don't have needlecraft in Ireland, you now have less rights than a paedophile. A convicted paedophile, by the way, with a record. They can eat in any restaurant they want. They can go into any family restaurant they want. Round kids. They can be anything they want like that. Once they show needlecraft. And the rest of us who don't do that can come in because we don't have needlecraft inside us. That's how fucking sick it's become. And if you're not angry over that, there's something fucking not right with you. There's something not right with you. That in this country, hundreds of thousands of decent people are refused access to restaurants and cafes and bars because they didn't take that. They want to remain organic human beings. You just fucking think about that, okay? You just think about that. Now, and this is another thing too. You have people saying, "Oh well, if you get the Rona and die without your own fault," and I go, "Yeah, if I get the look, motherfuckers, right? If I choose not to take needlecraft, listen to me carefully. In case it does happen to me, and they put all over the newspapers, COVID denier, anti-vaxxer dies of the Rona, right? I'm putting this clear right out in there for you can pull this up, right? If I die of the Rona, and I have not taken the needlecraft, I'm completely okay with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. And in fact, I'm in a very high risk category because I have asthma. I'm completely fine with that. I want you to know that. You never have to say, he went there, yeah, he didn't take and he dropped out of the Rona. No, I will be fine with that. And life is full of risk, and I'd rather live a life where I had a risk and the unknown rather than the stability and the conformity of soft annihilation any day. A single moment of stolen magic is worth a lifetime of the sameness. That's why the love affairs you have that were quick and fleeting are the ones you remember much more than, the nice, the going steady, the relationship. You always remember those magical ones because they were fleeting and powerful, and they were full of a kind of, there was the element of chance was everywhere. That's the bet. That's the way to live. That's the way to live. And I also have done the science. I've looked it up and says that, if there was a very high rate chance of that thing wiping me out, the Rona wiping me out, I probably might do something drastic like that. But I see, I don't fucking love science. I fucking do science, okay? That's the difference between me and these. I fucking do science. I read science. I don't fucking love science. to try and pretend I'm some kind of clever virtual signaling cunt. I actually looked up and said when it first happened, I had friends and people were the same. Were like, Jesus, is this really as bad as they say? And in the early days, there was plenty of stuff wobbling around about this being a genetic weapon, a bioweapon that escaped, and that made me quite concerned. The fact it was a bioweapon that escaped. And I think that's what upset a lot of those of us in the early days. When I'm on the fence with everything initially when it started. I'm going, ooh, I'm like, ooh, maybe just, and with a normal virus like this, like bird flu, I would have said, fuck it. But the fact that it was in a biotech lab, and I was like, oh, and it probably was a weapon, I'm like, oh, this is a bit worrying. It's a bit concerning. And then I read up on it and looked up on it and found out this thing, you've almost no chance of dying of it, no problem. And I'm right there I made a very early decision. This thing was not dangerous. It's much more dangerous now because of the Needlecraft, because they ran the program during the middle of a pandemic and they actually made the mutations of the strains more dangerous. But I did the science. I didn't love the science. I did the fucking science. I read the fucking science. I didn't love the fucking science, like that. Anyway, oh dear. So, well, it makes you wonder about the organics then, doesn't it? Oh, also, The Weak and Strange, which is going out, which it should be uploaded tonight or tomorrow. I have a very fucking interesting psychic weather report. In fact, the kind of psychic weather report I've been waiting for a while. And I think you will, if you go to Beyond, keep an eye on Beyond Room 313 tonight, the channel, and wait for The Weak and Strange. I'm going to have a very fucking interesting psychic weather report. Things are happening, folks. Things are happening. The collective unconscious is playing with people and giving them a message, and you might be getting this message too from your subconscious. So tune in to The Weak and Strange with Timony and Jason. Timony's the host, Jason's co-host, and I'm there too. But I'll be doing a psychic weather report. You'll find it interesting, and you'll find it most interesting. And so there could be a kind of a cosmic thing happening here, a consciousness shift, whatever. And again, like with the protesting, rather than spending your time going, please, Mr. Government, do this for me, you should be off building your own world. Right now, your priority should be to store food just in case they have the mother of fucker of all lockdowns happens, and you don't want to find yourself queuing and being degraded. Don't forget your cat food as well, and your dog food. And, there's plenty of toilet rolls in the supermarket now. Get them before the animals get in there and start killing each other over them. And that's your priority now. Storage food. I hear people saying, "I'm growing organic." Look, you can't grow in organic garden is great next spring, next summer. But right now, we're talking about we're talking about expediency. We're talking about right now. You're not. I had someone tell me there last week. I'm not storing up food, but I started an organic farm. Oh, you need the fucking. That's not going to be ready in time. You live in Ireland. You won't get a fucking crop until next year. And I was like, get the fucking tins of food now, and your dried food, pasta and rice now, and this kind of thing. And so there's too much of that. It's like there's too much of these fucking truther types who say things like, oh, I'm not storing up food. I'm right. No, you fucking idiot. You got to store the food up now. And so do that. You're just enough to get you through the winter, and you'd be surprised how little that can be in terms of money outlay. You don't have to go mad. And you just to give yourself a respite in case something happens. And look how the timber trade. It's almost impossible to get timber right now. For builders cannot get wood right now. They just can't get it. It's just and it makes no sense why. Unless of course all the lumberjacks are dead from the Needlecraft. It makes no sense why. And so, but they could stop a supply line of anything, even anything they want. And so that should be your priority, that right now. And if it doesn't happen, you beat inflation. And it's a nice feeling doing this as well. It feels good. It puts you in control rather than you waiting. And like I said, but there's so many people, they spend all day long. In fact, I'm hearing from fuckers now saying they only give the debt count once a week, not once a day like they used to. They're missing their mass. They're missing their devotionals, their prayer hours. So this is the thing, like you organic type motherfuckers who went out there and got Needlecraft. You didn't think about this, did you? Nope, because you didn't think there was going to be. And I'm seeing now that the UK is giving loads of Needlecraft away to the developing world. That's because loads of people in the UK didn't take it. I hear people say, yeah, 90% of people I know took it. I hear others say 50%. To me, it's I'd say it's about 20%. But then again, I tend to socialize with more kind of like interesting bohemian type, outsider type people. But a lot didn't take it. I can tell. I know loads that didn't take it, and they're not all like, they're even like chaps I work with who are regular fellas who are just saying, no, I'm not going to take it. I don't. My body's kind of telling me I don't feel right, but you don't need to take it. There's a lot that goes on, and that's that. They're list these are fellas who like work in manual labor, and yet they're more in touch with their body than all these organics are who went out and got it. Interesting that, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Some guy's a carpenter said that to me. He goes, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get it, Thomas. I don't feel right in myself about it. My body is telling." That's what his actual words were. My body is telling me, no, don't take it. And that's interesting. Not very interesting, isn't it? Not very fucking interesting. But yeah, I mean that whole organic world is going to have to change rapidly. We're going to have, those of us who are not in Needlecraft are going to have to start demanding of people in the organic industry. Did you take the Needlecraft? Yes, I did. Okay, you're not part of the organic industry anymore. We're going to have to start being like that. We have to give back to them what they so merrily gave to us. So, and there'll be lots of things like this. Lots of things. You see them saying, like, they have the dating apps, saying things like, you got a better chance of dating if you're vaccinated. Do you really? I think you're going to get that, going to find the other way around. I think you're going to get like a lot of like women who didn't take. They have that's why they get Iggy Pop from Friends out to tell people to get the, she won't talk to anybody. She won't talk to anybody unless I can't. This fucking thing is, the light is all weird in this thing. Okay, that looks a bit better. She won't deal with anybody who she won't deal with anybody who's not Needlecraft. The fucking wagon. And she's not dealing with them because they're a risk to her. Yeah, her fucking TV shows are a risk to everybody. They're so crap. But pay them back in their own coin. I mean, I'd be very tempted if someone said to me, you're not coming over to my house because you didn't get the Needlecraft. And then when this is all over and all the hype ends and we're not talking about it anymore, they're saying, you're coming over for your Christmas? And I go, nah. Why not? I wasn't good enough to be in your house when you found that I wasn't injected. I'm not good enough to be there now. Come on, out of that we were just all nervous about a pandemic. No, you're not my tribe anymore. My tribe are the people who were there to stand by me and supported me and didn't discriminate against me like you, my flesh and blood, did. No, I don't really want you in my life anymore. I got a tribe now. I got people around me who respect me for who I am and not because of, what experimental chemicals I have injected into my body. It's hard. It's fucking hard. I know. I understand all this. It's painful, and it's not fun. It's absolutely not fun. But c'est la vie. It's like Malcolm X said. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Well, it's the same with this thing. We didn't ask for all this trouble. We just wanted to be able to live our lives. But you went to war again. The state went to war against us. The media went to war against us. The own family members and friends went to war with us. Employers went to war with us. The entire service industry went to war with us. Well, we remember. we will remember, and you will be paid back in your own coin. So again, this things are going very well at the moment for us. We've got, look how far we've got already. And it's coming. There's a general consensus that the needlecraft going forward will only be for the hypochondriacs who have to have it every year, the booster. This thing made up by the marketing agents at the vaccine companies. But for the rest of us, we've got this far. We've gotten very far. We've gotten extremely far. And well, let's see how much further we can take it. I think, like I said in the video today, just wait. Just wait. Okay, it's a pain in the ass it's like this right now. But this is our hero's journey, our monomyth, and how we deal with this will set us up for the rest of our lives. So if you were a skiveling ninny who was like, "Oh, we're not gonna die, the fucking the forest, Delta Variant, they're gonna fucking die." Well, you failed in your monomyth, and you will be a sniveling weasel for the rest of your life. But those who went, "Oh shit, fucking, I haven't taken the Needlecraft, and people are picking on me, but fuck it, I have to find a way." You're surviving your monomyth, and when this is all over, my friends, and you can take this one to the bank, okay? You can take this one to the bank, okay? I'm making an oath here, an oath, right? A promise to you all that when all this shit is past and we have our lives back, all of us in the tribe will look back and say, "Well, fuck me, I demonstrated some unbelievable fortitude, and I'm proud of myself, and I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about the world. And you know what? In some ways, it was the best thing that ever happened to me." I swear to you right now, as an oath, on my honor, I'm telling you, that's how you will feel in a few years' time. So remember that. You're doing fantastic to have gotten this far. I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourselves. We've done amazing. And you know what? We're going to finish this. And we're going to finish this organic, standing up straight, and we're going to have all kinds of skill sets, psychological ones, social ones, behavioral ones, and all kinds of new crafts and stuff we learned by sticking to our guns. And you telling me that this is not a worthy pursuit? It absolutely is. Onwards, friends. Take care.